In March 2020, on our circumnavigation of Langkawi Island, we went and visited the Gua Kelawar Bat Cave, Kilim Jetty Forest Park area. We travelled from the boat down a river for about half an hour or more, and you can see in the distance the Bat Cave's platform. It was a sunny day, a little bit of cloud cover at times, and about 30 degrees heat, so we got a little bit dehydrated, and going into the caves was a welcome change. We continued down the river a little bit just to see what was further down the river, and it got shallower and shallower and shallower. So we returned towards the Bat Caves, and there's the platform that you put your boat, moor your boat up against it, and obviously get up onto the platform and walk up into the Bat Caves. As we tied off the boat, we realised that there was nobody about. There was no staff, there were no tourists. COVID-19 has really affected the whole island, and we didn't have to pay any entry fee, which is good or bad, but there was nobody to take the money. And here's some signs. If you want to pause them, you can try to read them. Sometimes I wonder why I even bother taking video of signs or photographs of signs. You can pause these photographs and read them if you wish, but I'm not real good at taking photographs of signs. There's a photograph of the bats, and as we walked through the platforms, it didn't smell. It was low tide, and it was nice and clean and tidy. This one talks about the flora and fauna and mangroves. Well, I didn't get to see any of these ferns while we were in the park, so obviously they're dead fossils. And it talks about the soil over the years. So now we approach the entrance to the caves. It's not just the caves, it's the geology of the place as well. So there's the entrance, and we walked inside. Well, for me it was nearly crawl inside. So my short wife, she had no real problem. As you can see, I'm 6 foot tall, and stepping down to get into the caves became a bit of a problem, but it widened up and I was able to stand up straight inside the caves proper. And there's an example. And we didn't go up the stairs. It's just sort of like a viewing platform to try to get a look at the bats themselves, but we couldn't see any bats. We could hear them, but they were in the darkness. And here I am pointing towards the noise because I couldn't see the bats. And of course, using an iPhone in the caves is not a good way to video a dark place. It's not just about the bats, it's also about the stalagmites and stalactites and the rock formations, and it's all unique. I really enjoy the geology of the caves, and here's an example of stalagmites and stalactites. And outside you'll see more formations that were interesting. You can imagine the water dripping off them and the limestone dripping down and slowly over the years forming the stalagmites and stalactites. So it's time to head back to the boat. And another example of the rock formations and the way they've built the footpaths around them. And we got into the dinghy and headed back to our boat, and on the way we had another example of how the COVID-19 has shut down all tourism. If you have a look at this, all the tourist boats are just lined up in a row. There would have been 50 of them, all lined up in and around the Kilim Jetty. The video was produced by myself for your entertainment. The end of another exciting video of the Bat Caves in Kilim Geopark, March 2020.